everyone. Welcome back to another market update for the Phoenix real estate market. I am going to make this somewhat brief because on Friday I'll be doing a deeper dive, a more robust update like I do every month, and we'll be looking at what happened in the month of February. But today I'm here to give you your update that I give every Monday. So I'm sure if you've been following all of these updates, you are anxiously anticipating where the CMI sits today. And the not surprising news is that we have broken a new record, and we did break the 500 mark. So we're at 504 today. And that is a record for the CMI. I think the highest the CMI has ever been, it was like 313 or something like that. Clearly a very huge record. But here's the thing, the CMI has been going up at a slower rate than it was previously. So although we keep hitting these new records, we're not soaring into those numbers. It's actually slowing down quite a bit in terms of its trajectory upward. It's not coming down by any means, and it's not staying stable, but it's just not flying upward at the rate we've seen in the past. And for our demand index, we are still above normal. We're at about 21.4% above normal. However, demand has been going down, and our demand has decreased about 7 points in the last 30 days. Meanwhile, our supply is at 24.1, which means that we're 76% below normal in our housing supply. And that number has decreased as well. So our supply has gone down, but slower than demand. Supply has gone down 2.8 points in the last 30 days. Again, demand has dropped 7 points in the last 30 days, and our supply has dropped 2.8 points in the last 30 days. So our demand is definitely going down faster than supply. However, we're still in a position where without the supply that we need in the market and still having demand that is reasonable, but it is above normal, it's continuing to shoot that CMI up, and we're seeing multiple offers and high prices and bidding wars, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where we stand as far as the CMI goes. It'll be interesting to see if it continues to kind of slow down in the upward movement, or if we'll take off again. I'm not sure, but it all is going to depend on whether or not we get more homes to sell here and more supply, or if we get more buyer interest. Interest rates went up just slightly last week. I don't know how much that's really going to affect buyers. I think eventually the affordability will probably affect buyers, but I'm not entirely sure when people will stop wanting to move here and buy homes, and or people will start listing their homes so that we have more supply, and either way would help kind of correct where we're at. So talking about a few other things that I wanted to mention as it relates to supply, some interesting numbers that I think would be helpful to share. So typically in a normal year, we expect to see our supply in mid-February be greater than it was where we started the year, because we start the year right after the holidays, and kind of slow for people to decide to list their homes and make a move and whatnot. So usually by the time we hit mid-February, we have increased our supply and the market has changed a little bit. Well, for example, in 2015, we had active listings that started at 22,879, and in 1 week rose to 24,041 by the end of, 22,879 in week 1 of the year. And then in 8 weeks, we had that rise to 24,041. So we had an increase in supply between those 8 weeks of the year, the first 8 weeks of the year. Now, this year, here's where the numbers stand. Mind you, they are so much lower in general. So we started the year at 6,000, a mere 6,000, not even 10,000, not 20,000, but 6,113 on week 1 of the year. And by week 8, we have dropped to 4,739 or 31. which is a decline of 23%. So we have not increased supply as we normally do. We've actually decreased it, and we've decreased from a number that was already drastically low. So that doesn't really help anything. So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit to share, just to really illustrate how low our supply is, and the fact that it went lower is kind of unfathomable, really. But, you know, again, we'll keep trucking. I have been working with a lot of different clients that it's been somewhat of an uphill battle to find a house, but we found one this weekend for one of my clients, which is exciting. So it's not impossible. Like I always say, you just have to be ready to go and strike while the iron's hot if it's something that you're committing to. So anyway, that's all I've got. It's kind of a brief update this Monday. I will be back on Friday. I will have all the graphs and the charts and visuals and all of the things that will be helpful for you guys to see more information. I'll also have a little bit more update on where the CMI sits on Friday, so we'll see how that changes over the next 5 days. And as always, if you have any real estate questions, I am happy to help, so feel free to reach out to me anytime. You know where to find me. Have a great week.